All right, welcome to Revit 2019 Demo 5. We're going to continue from Revit 2019 Demo 4. In this exercise, we're going to go over roofs. So let's add a simple hip roof with a 4x12 pitch on this house. We're going to go to Floor Plan Level 1, Architecture, Roof, by Footprint. And you're going to notice that the lowest level notice pops up. You have created the roof on the lowest level. Would you like to move it to level 2? We're going to say yes. Lowest level notice box comes up. It's warning you to move the roof to level 2. It's a good idea, otherwise the roof would start on the ground. So go ahead and click yes. And then we're going to set the overhang to 1 foot. So we're going to type in 1 foot in our display options up here, design options. And we're going to go ahead and start selecting walls. So we have the pick walls button selected here, so I'm just going through and selecting walls. And notice it's drawing it a foot off the wall. So you're going to pick the exterior walls you want to cover with this roof. The green hidden lines represent the overhang. The magenta lines are the roof. You're going to go to Properties, and you want to change the slope up here to 4x12. We're going to edit the type of the roof, and you're going to change to a wood rafter 8-inch. So we're going to go to wood rafter 8-inch. Asphalt shingle insulated. It's a bit smarter than the generic 12-inch. And then we're going to hit OK, and we're going to finish our roof. So finish edit mode. Now you can't see it in this view, but if I pop over to a 3D view, which I can do up here in the quick access ribbon, I can actually hit this default 3D view. And now you'll notice that I've got a roof drawn. So if we select level 2, you can notice that it's actually cutting through the roof. I typed in SD, and I can see the cut through the roof. Some roof but cut off, so it should look like it got sliced horizontally. That's just because if we go to our self elevation, the level 2 cut plane's at 4'6", so it's slicing through that roof. But you'll notice that we now have a nice roof in there. The 4-foot cut plane at the levels slices intentionally because that's where Revit cuts the floor plan when you're viewing the floor plans. So if I were to edit the range, the view range from level 1, you'll notice that it's default at 4 feet. That's a standard practice for architectural drawings. So one thing that we can do is we can set the view range to 200 feet up in level 2. So if we go to level 2, and it's a bit exaggerated to set it to 200 feet, but we can set it to 200 feet. Or we can set it to unlimited. Let's do unlimited. I typed in 200, hit apply, okay. Nothing's happening, so let me make sure I adjusted the correct value. Top, let's do associated level 200, apply, okay. It's not adjusting correctly. Oh, because my cut plane is still set to 4 feet. So just because I'm viewing 200 feet up means absolutely nothing. So I want this at 7'6". I want to ensure that I adjust my cut plane to 200 feet. Notice my top plane's too high, so I can actually set this to unlimited, hit apply, and now I can see my roof. So that's important to understand. So when we go to view 3D, you can see that your roof's there. So how do we change our roof pitch in Revit? Well, it's actually quite simple. We're going to go to Floor Plan Site. So we're going to double click that. And right now you can see that when we left click on the roof, it turns blue. We can edit the footprint of that roof, and you'll see purple lines with some triangles near them. Those triangles indicate the area in which the roof is sloping. You can window to select all of it because all you're in is in the boundary of that roof, so you don't have to worry about what you're highlighting unless you're trying to do something specific with your roof. We're going to go to the properties and adjust the rise to 12-inch, so our slope to 12-inch. It's rise over run, and our overhang to 2 feet. Notice that it live updated the overhang. And when I hit the checkbox, the green check, it updates that in this view, but then when I go back to my 3D view, I now have a higher slope. So it's live updated on the fly. So we want to change from a hip to a gable roof. There is not a button to change a roof from one type to another, maybe in the future, but at this point in time, we're going to left click on the roof in the 3D view. You can do this on the site level as well. The roof should turn blue, like it did here. And we want to make sure that the right side hip where the 3 windows are turns into a gable. And this is just a nice architectural feature we want to do. So if we go to level 1, we highlight this line. We're picking just the line, not the arrow. And we're going to turn define slopes off. So you want to uncheck define slopes. We're going to leave the extend into wall off, which is off, and we're going to hit the green check. We're then going to go back to the view 3D, and you can see a wonderful air conditioning element. Just kidding. It's just an opening in the wall. We can do the same thing over the garage, this time in the site plan. So we're going to go to the site plan. We're going to select the roof and edit the footprint, define the slope, hit the green check mark. We're going to hit 3D view, and you'll notice that it updated the front roof. More air conditioning. You got some nice airflow going on in there. We're now done. So well, we're not actually done. What we want to do is we want to attach this wall to this roof, and we want to select this wall and attach that to this roof. And now you'll notice that it's sealed off correctly. You can kind of zoom in and notice there's an error here. So if you really want to, you can select all instances visible in view and attach all of them to this roof. And that way it ensures that it's set up correctly. Once you have all of your walls attached to your roof, you can actually place and adjust your window in this wall to be shown at the correct height. So we're going to adjust this head height to 15 feet. So I'm going to select here, type in 15 feet, and you'll notice that it goes up into that gabled area of the wall. Now what we want to do is adjust the height of the roof, or the slope of the roof. So we're going to adjust this to 4 to 12. And now the window's slightly impeding on that roof. So we can actually lower that back down a hair. We can go 14 feet. And now we've got some clearance on that gabled area. And it's above that ceiling. We also want to adjust the overhang so that the overhang is set to 1 foot. So when I highlight these, I want to set 1 feet. You'll notice that the Define Slopes dialog box goes from a check mark to a solid black. That's just telling you that you have some areas that are sloped and some that are not. You could uncheck this and then check it, and it'll define it or uncheck all. Go ahead and play around with that, but for this section of this exercise, I'm just going to continue by hitting the green check mark. So let's change from a gable to a shed. Let's put a shed roof over the front door off the front wall. So we're going to go to floor plan level 2, which we've adjusted that view range. We're going to put our display settings on wireframe. So we're going to change this to wireframe so that we can see the walls below the roof. We're going to go to architecture, roof, by footprint. We're going to go into the properties panel and set the base offset from level to -1 foot 6 inches. We're going to set the roof type to wood rafter 8-inch asphalt. We're just verifying that that's in there. We're then going to finish the edit mode and hit OK. Oh, we're actually not going to hit OK. We're going to hit OK in this dialog box and move over and draw it. So we're going to draw using the rectangle tool, and we're going to uncheck Define Slopes. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch for a roof, which will essentially be drawn from this wall across here. And then I want to select this. I hit escape twice, and I'm going to select this front horizontal line and define that slope. I want this to be a 1 to 12. 1-12. 1 inch dash 12 inch. That's what I want it to be. So it's a 1 to 12. That can be adjusted there or here. From there, we're going to hit the green check mark, and then we're going to go back to View 3D, and you'll notice I've got a nice little awning for my roof. We can also go to our east elevation, and in our east elevation, we notice that it's selected, or it's highlighted back to that roof. Now, if this is a bit too high, we can left click on the roof and bump, using a Revit term, it down to a desired height using the down arrow key. So I can actually arrow key this height, and notice that it's bumping it at a set interval. We want to bump it down to 2 feet. So notice I'm watching my dimensions on the side. It's moving at 3/4 inch intervals, so I'm moving it to 2 inches. Now we want to assign roof gutters. So you can add roof gutters very easily in Revit. We're going to go to the site, and then we're going to go into Architecture, Roof, cancel out of that, I didn't mean to select that, Roof, Gutter. Pick the roof edges in which you want to place roof gutters. So we're going to select this edge to this edge. They have to be sloped edges, obviously where anything's draining. And you'll notice that I'm clicking on those edges and it's drawing those gutters. So we're going to show the south elevation, and you'll notice that I have a gutter there. And you should see it clearly in each view because I'm drawing it in all those views. So I have a gutter on there, and a gutter up top, and a gutter on the back. You can change and add the roof fascia in the same manner. You've learned how to create a hip, a shed, a flat, and a gable roof, how to change the pitch and overhang, and how to add gutters, and to change the physical properties of the roof. So go ahead and File, Save As, Revit 2019 Demo 5.